Hey everyone, this is Matt, and I'm going to talk about my third psychotic episode that I had in September of 1997. I was a junior in college and I was a commuter student at that point. I lived with my parents and I went to classes at the University of Toledo, and I guess at that time I seemed to be doing better. I started skating again. The Rossford ramp, which is, people that live in that area, was a mini ramp with like a 4-foot with a 6-foot on one side, and I was skating at that point. I was not really into weed at that point, so that wasn't really a factor. The factor was, I guess I had a psychiatrist at the University of Toledo that was maybe kind of new to the field or young, and I guess I still pushed to decrease my medicine because, like, maybe to lose a few pounds or for whatever reason I really pushed to have my medicine decreased, and this guy was like, okay, and it was decreased too much. And when I really noticed the difference was in the middle of a English class. We were reading a Sherwood Anderson story. That's the guy that did Winesburg, Ohio. And I forget which story, but one of them, he has like little paper things in his pockets, and that's part of the story with like why he has little papers in the pocket. And I remember just like saying this is his prescriptions for his medications, and like it just seemed kind of surreal. The older professor just kind of went off on that a little bit, and then it just seemed kind of surreal just to have an argument about papers in somebody's pockets in a story. But yeah, I remember walking down the University of Toledo. Toledo in general is pretty flat. Like, it's not really that scenic of a place, but the university, it does have like a little hill where you can look down, and like, it has like, some large trees and some old buildings. And I remember just walking on campus to my car and just like, just looking at a stranger just walking down the steps, and that I remember that person like could see, like he sensed that there was something wrong with me. But most of that though was kind of a mild episode compared to the first two. I guess first I kind of knew what it was, and there wasn't as much paranoia as the first two. It was more of a manic thing. Like, apparently all my artwork from high school and college, I just decided to put it in the bathtub as it was thinking, and I was like stepping on it, and like, I remember my sister joked later on, like, what I call it, like bathtub soup or making grapes out of, so I destroyed my high school artwork during that time. And the other thing that I remember clearly was I kind of have an insomnia, so I was watching TV late at night, and I turned on MTV, and Bittersweet Symphony came on by The Verve, and it's the first time I ever heard that song. And so I turned it way up, and my parents, we have a big house, and the first floor is, kind of, there's 3 floors, but anyways, the first floor is kind of big, but my sister could hear it all the way from her room. My older sister lived with us at that point when she was going to law school, and she just heard all these weird sounds, and she like checked on me, and she just came in, she laughed because I guess it sounded so different than what she heard before, like all these weird sort of violin sounds and stuff from that song, that like she thought like maybe I was doing something or harming myself. But anyways, that week we went to the mall, and I got the CD of that album, Urban Hymns, and I listened to it a lot. And as far as my episode, I didn't have to get hospitalized during that time. They knew what was going on, and I responded to my meds relatively quickly. So I did take that semester off, the fall semester 1997. But by winter 1998, I was back in classes, so it didn't really affect me as much as other ones, and the recovery didn't seem to be as prolonged. All right, I guess this one will be a little shorter, but I guess I've been thinking about my 4th episode, which happened in 2016, and that's a little closer to like my adult. It's a little, it's a little fresh to me. So I'm not sure how I'm going to handle that, if I'm going to talk about the stories or not, because I had the same job I have now. Then I have some of the same network, so I really will think carefully before I post about that episode. But I do enjoy just like talking in front of the camera, talking out these stories instead of trying to write them. So I think I will, when I feel like it, continue with like just verbal storytelling. And I hope everyone gets something out of this. And all right, that's it. This is only 6 minutes, this one. All right, cheers, thanks.